Subscribe, nga like, ngaleteo vitu mzuri na Nguiko hapa hivi pedeshe moja mzuri sana. Nguiko leta vitu fresh baba.
Wamunyinyi TV on YouTube, please subscribe, share and press notification bell. Akiweka tu gossip hivi mtakuwa kwanza kuona mwashene. Weka mwashene.
Former Treasury official Tom Fred Mogoi Osinde was killed at his home in Nakuru City's Langata estate before his body was transported to Kisii County and dumped in Gusha River. Detectives investigating the murder have revealed that Osinde's body was transported to Kisii, several kilometers from his Ngata home, in his Toyota Land Cruiser RC300 vehicle. According to a senior detective at the scene of the murder probe, investigators found blood stains in his house. In what appears to have been a well-planned executed murder, his killers used a polythene bag and some clothes to carefully wrap his head to conceal details of their heinous act. And true to the words of American novelist Patricia Highsmith, there is no perfect murder. There is always a trail of evidence left behind, and it only requires a sleuth with the proficiency of a Sherlock Holmes, the fictional British detective, to unearth it. Osinde's killers left the blood-stained polythene bag on the banks of Gusha River. Detectives say an analysis of the blood samples from the polythene bag and the curtains matched those of the slain former Treasury official. Although his posh house in Ngata, still under construction, had no CCTV cameras, investigators were able to reconstruct the scene of the murder. As detectives from the Homicide Department and the Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau (CRIB) burned the midnight oil to unravel the circumstances surrounding the murder and the motive of the killing, it is now emerging that Mr. Julius Mogoi, the prime suspect, may have been hired by unknown persons to commit the murder. Mogoi has revealed to senior investigators that he was approached to commit the murder, but he has not given any further details about the people who hired him, and his accomplices revealed a highly placed source at the center of the investigation. The latest revelation have now raised crucial questions about the murder. Who wanted Osinde dead and why? Was he a victim of a deal gone sour? What was the motive of the murder? At his Ngata residence, Osinde lived in one of the rooms of the mansion, which is still under construction. There is also a small house in the compound where his workers say he used to relax as he enjoyed his favorite drinks. It also has emerged that the murder, his killer fueled his vehicle at Ruby's petrol station in the Nakuru Eldoret highway. Detectives are still analyzing the CCTV cameras at the petrol station to understand who was behind the wheel and any other occupants of Osinde's vehicle at the time. The CCTV cameras were a bit faulty, but they have been repaired, and we have handed over the backup hard drive for analysis to establish who refueled the vehicle and who the occupants were. Mzee was not an outgoing person. He could order his drinks from Nakuru City and enjoy them at their house. And as all investigations into murder intensify, detectives say preliminary investigation have placed Mr. Osinde's farmhand Mogoi, who hails from South Mugirango constituency in Kisii County, at the scene of the murder. Ahmed claims he confessed to senior officers to committing the murder. According to detectives, Mr. Mogoi allegedly revealed to detectives the scene of the crime at River Kuja in Migori County, where the body was dumped. Detectives believe the farmhand may have committed the crime at Osinde's Ngata home along others before they dumped the body in River Kuja. When Mr. Osinde decomposing body was recovered from River Kuja in Migori, a source said it had a deep cut on the head and his hands and legs were tied, also suggesting there may have been more than one killer. Among those believed to have assisted Mogoi in the murder is one of his friends who had visited him in Ngata on several occasions. Police also believe that the friend was the mystery person who was seen driving Mr. Osinde's vehicle from his Ngata home before he went missing. Neighbors and friends believe that Mr. Osinde's killers may have wanted to access his bank accounts and steal some of his property. Osinde's decomposing body was recovered in Mogoi County, where his family, led by his brother Enoch Nemuel Osinde, positively identified it, ending weeks of frantic search for the former Treasury official. It has also emerged that the body recovered from Kuja River in Mogoi had been lying in a mortuary for a week as the family searched for their loved one. Having retired about a year ago, Mr. Osinde's home in Ngata was the perfect place for him to live. He shared his mansion with his workers. The former Treasury official's public appearances were limited to his circle of friends, and his last appearance was at the burial of another senior security officer at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Livingston Kipkoech Ruto, on May 3rd, 2023, where he spoke on behalf of the Ngata elders. Another neighbor said Mr. Osinde rarely went out to social places in Nakuru. Those who knew him personally had yet to come to terms with his death, with one social media user remarking, "May his killers never know peace." Known for his expertise in financial management, he retired from the Treasury about a year ago before venturing into private business. He was a brother of the late Ambassador Ken Osinde, the former Chief of Staff in the office of the Deputy President William Ruto, now President. Osinde also served as Kenya's ambassador to Germany between 2010 and 2014 before becoming Chief of Staff at Harambee House Annex. He died in Nairobi Hospital in October 2021 after a brief illness. Other siblings include Nema Enoch Osinde. However, little is known about Osinde's immediate family, including his 2 wives and children. Until his death, Osinde lived at his Ngata home with his workers Julius Mogoi and Jacob Haemba. At the time Mr. Osinde went missing, according to a family source, he was expected to travel from his Ngata residence in Nakuru to his rural home in Borabu, Nyamira County. Detectives say Mr. Mogoi arrived at their home in South Mogirango, Kisii County, on the night of June 18, 2023, while driving his boss car. Immediately after dumping his lifeless body in the river, Mr. Mogoi allegedly drove to his home in Nyakeo, South Mogirango, Kisii County. This was the first time the suspect was seen at their home in 3 years. He had fled home after he allegedly tried to kill his mother with a machete. Nation Africa has established that Mr. Mogoi is also a suspect in another murder that occurred about 3 years ago. It is not clear how he secured his freedom before leaving Kisii to work at Osinde's Ngata home. Police say Osinde's car will undergo forensic tests to establish the last person to use it. A detective told Nation Africa that when the vehicle was abandoned at Pashaya along the Sikawa Enosign Road in Transmara West, Narok County, police say there was also an attempt to set it on fire, but this failed. The car had blood stains in the back seat, a sign that Mr. Osinde may have been killed elsewhere before his assailants used the vehicle to transport his body to River Kuja. The car's number plates, battery and radio were missing. Some documents were also found in the car and are now being used by detectives in the ongoing investigation into his murder. The car's battery and number plates were later recovered from Mogoi's home in Kisii County. Investigators believe that vehicle was abandoned in Kilgoris by Mr. Mogoi. After removing his registration number plate, the suspects later returned to Ngata, where he worked as a farmhand and was seen going about his normal duties until he was arrested. That was Mr. Mogoi, the person who is the big suspect in the murder of Mr. Osinde, who is also a former treasury worker. Does Mr. Osinde know something in the treasury that is being covered, or something is not adding up here? Please keep subscribing.